We'll begin by resting down in constructive rest pose. Taking a moment to allow the body to settle. I was talking with one of my sons about the Vitruvian Man image of Da Vinci. If you can picture that human figure with the arms and the legs extended out in two different positions, you can see all of those points moving outward, but you can also imagine them all moving inward towards one point, which would be the center of the body, a little below the navel. And one of the great gifts of this practice is that it brings our attention to that point, right at the center of the body, and strengthens us from that point, gathers all of our resources inward so that we can be supported out through the length of the spine and out the limbs. So we're going to work today with the abdominal star, which is a smaller image than the Vitruvian Man, but a similar image of points gathered around a center. Before we start engaging the star, just check your alignment. I'm going to see that the knees are bent, so the feet are in line with the sit bones. And the angle of the knee should be such that your back and your hips are comfortable, not too far out, not too close in. I'm going to find that sense of the tailbone sinking down. For now, the muscles in the belly relaxing so that the lumbar spine is in its neutral position. Also check that the arms are wider than the mat, palms turned up so that the shoulder blades are flattened and broad. And then you've got a nice length at the back of the neck. If the chin is jutting towards the ceiling instead of drawing down towards the notch of the neck, then please place a small folded towel under the head. I'm going to feel length at the back of the neck. And in this neutral rest position, release into gravity's pull. When we start to work with the abdominal star image, the bones will continue to stay in this position. We're not tilting the pelvis or doing anything to move the bones around. The only bones that will move are the ribs as you breathe. So to begin, please picture an asterisk resting on the belly. And let the crossbar of the asterisk come across the hip point so that the center point of the asterisk is a little below the navel, in line with the navel, but between the pubic bone and the navel. So have that picture of the asterisk in your mind's eye for a moment. See where the various lines extend from and how they gather together in that one point. Now observe the asterisk as you take a breath in. And as you exhale, imagine shrinking the asterisk down so that all those points come towards the center point. There are actually 8 points on the outside of that asterisk, all drawing in towards the point just below the navel. And then relax. And relax, release into gravity. Our neutral spine, our neutral pelvis are still in place. Neck and shoulders are still easy. As you inhale, again, picture that asterisk with its low center. And with the exhale, shrink all of the points down towards that low center. Gathering all of your strength in the very center of the body. Relax with the inhale. And with the exhale again, relax into gravity's pull. Do nothing, no effort. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Imagine the asterisk. Feel it expand gently with the in-breath. And then with the exhale, shrink it down towards its center. And then relax with the inhale. And release into gravity. Let's use the star to stabilize as we do arm lifts. So we'll bring the arms down closer to the sides, turn the palms to face each other. Notice the neutral alignment of the pelvis, the lower back in its neutral lumbar curve. Take an inhale and float the arms straight up towards the ceiling, picturing the asterisk. And with your exhale, shrink the star and reach the arms back towards the wall behind you, mindful that the lower back stays still as the arms reach back. Then inhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, we're going to shrink the star and keep a neutral spine and lift the head slightly. Hands moving to the outer thighs, maintaining neutral pelvis and spine. Inhale, head down, arms will come up, picture the asterisk, and shrink it down towards its center as you reach the arms back, maintaining your neutral lower back curve. Inhale, we'll float the arms up towards the ceiling, and with the exhale, shrink the star and take a little head lift, keeping the lower spine neutral. Inhale, head down, arms float up, and let's do that one more time. Exhale, shrink the star, stabilize, and reach back with the arms. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, shrink the star again to lift with a neutral spine. We're going to keep the head up and bring the hands behind the head and inhale. Exhale, shrink the star. And then inhale, lower your head down. And with your inhale, let everything relax. Feel how your ribs are flaring. And now you are a little beyond neutral. You have a neutral lumbar, but there's a bit of extension in the low thoracic. Your lower ribs will be pulling up off the mat. So we're going to refine the use of the obliques here with the inhale. Feel those ribs flaring out. And as you exhale, find your back ribs and imprint them like a stamp into a stamp pad onto the mat. Now you're back in your neutral. And then relax with inhale. Feel the ribs flaring, the back ribs pulling gently away from the mat with that in-breath. And as you exhale, imprint the back ribs down into the mat like you're pressing a stamp into a stamp pad. We still have a neutral lower back. And inhale, let the ribs flare. Notice the back ribs pulling away from the mat. And one final time, imprint the back ribs with your exhale. Maintain your neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Keeping your back ribs imprinted, engage your star and then lift up again in neutral. A little bit more secure now that we have the back ribs imprinted. Maintain that neutral as you lower down on inhale and lift again on exhale. We're keeping the star shrinking, keeping the back ribs imprinted, and inhale, lower back down. One more time. Exhale, shrink the star, imprint the back ribs as you lift the head. Now keep that head lift. And inhale, lift your right foot, keeping the pelvis still. Exhale, as you lower down, you're shrinking the star. Make sure the back ribs are imprinted. Stabilize the pelvis and lift the left foot up. And again, shrink the star as your foot goes down. Keep the back ribs imprinted. Stable pelvis as you lift the right foot up. And anchor with the star as you lower the foot down. Keep the pelvis still, neutral lower back. Inhale and lift the left foot up. Exhale again, the star is shrinking, the back ribs are imprinting. One more time on each leg, the pelvis should be absolutely still. And lower back down, keep shrinking the star. Make sure the center of the star has stayed low beneath the navel. Inhale the left foot up and exhale, lower it down. And then we'll release the head down. And take the arms straight up towards the ceiling. Lengthen and relax the neck, let your shoulders soften down, your humeral heads drop into the shoulder sockets to make some nice easy circles with your arms. And reverse those circles. And now we're going to steady the arms, let the hands rest exactly above the shoulder joint, soften there. We're back in our neutral spine. Relaxed in the core for a moment. Soften the shoulders and neck. And then let's shrink the star down again. Keep the shoulders easy, and we'll do a compound leg lift. We want to imprint the back ribs with the star shrinking and float the right foot up. Keep imprinting the ribs and the star shrinking as we lift the left foot up. And then lower the right. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep shrinking the star and lower the left. Again, star is shrinking, back ribs imprinting, shoulders relaxed as you lift the left foot up. And then add the right. And lower the left, and lower the right. We're going to do another set. Star is shrinking, back ribs imprinted, shoulders relaxed. Right foot up, keep imprinting as you bring the left up. Keep shrinking and imprinting as you lower the right. Shoulders still relaxed, and lower the left. Let's start with the left. Shrink the star, imprint the back ribs, left up. Keep imprinting and lift the right. Star shrinking, ribs imprinting, left goes down, and then right goes down. And we're going to bring the legs up to a neutral tabletop using that star and imprint combo. Shrink the star, imprint, lift the right foot up, and continue to support as you lift the left up. And we're going to pause right here. Once again, connect with your abdominal star. Shrink all of those points down towards that low center. Then imprint the back ribs, and we're going to go to pistons. Exhaling, tapping the right toe down, and inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, tapping the left foot down, and inhale, lift it back up. Make sure that the back ribs stay imprinted. You're still shrinking your star. And inhale to lift, exhale to lower, shrinking and imprinting. Inhale to lift, return to the right side. Keeping the neutral spine by shrinking the star. And shrink the star again as the left comes down and lift. Now we're going to pause here, soften the shoulders, and circle the ankles around. And reverse the circles of the ankles. Now keep your arms relaxed. Bend your knees more so that your feet are coming towards your sit bones. Shrink your star down again. Imprint the back ribs and then pull your pubic bone to your belly button, feeling your lower back go flat. We're still having the arms in vertical and relaxed, back of the neck long. Bring the legs close together. Feel your star shrinking down. It may be a little bit more intense because you've got that pelvic tilt in here now. Soften your shoulders. Make sure your right back ribs stay down and your right shoulder stays down. And rock your knees over towards your left side. And then circle around. You're going to move through a neutral spine. And then bring the knees over to the right side. Keep those back left ribs down, left shoulder down. And circle back into the center. Find that squeeze into the center. Shoulders still relaxed, back of the neck long. Left back ribs and shoulders stay down as you circle the knees over to the right. And reach away from you into neutral. And then circle over to the left. Keep the right back ribs and the right shoulder down. And then come back around to the center. Pause. Shrink the star. And stabilize on the right shoulder and ribs as you circle the knees first to the left, then away, then over to the right. Keep those left back ribs down now and come back into the center. Shrink the star, and we'll go over to the right. Keep the left shoulder and ribs down as you circle the knees over to the right and come around, circling all the way around. Let's go one more time in each direction. Shrink the star to begin and circle to the left. Make sure that the right shoulder and ribs stay down. Circle over to the right side, keeping the left back ribs down. Shrink the star in the center. One last time, starting off to the right and circling around. Now we're going to bring one hand to each knee and move the knees out away from the chest until we have the neutral spine. Again, shrink the star. And then relax the legs out wide. And then keep the star shrinking. We sometimes keep the belly soft when we do the hip circles. We're going to keep the star shrinking and relax the legs as much as possible. We stir the thighs around the hip socket. Keep the legs passive. Reverse those circles. Keep shrinking the star. And pull back into the center, one hand on each knee, drawing the knees in close to the belly, letting the back flatten, and then relax here for a moment. And we'll move the knees away and find the neutral again. Lift the feet as high as the knees, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Shrink the star, imprint the back ribs, lower the right foot down and keep it down. And bring the left foot down and keep it down. Now we're going to prepare for the 100. Reshrink the star, imprint the back ribs, and take the left foot up. Keep imprinting and shrinking as you lift the right foot up. Lower your hands down to the floor at your sides and press the palms down. Draw your front ribs together as you lift your head. Shrink and imprint as you straighten the legs out. And exhale, 5 pulses of the arms. And inhale for 5. Keep shrinking the star down. Keep that center low. Inhale for 5. Exhale. And inhale. Shrink the star down. And inhale. Now see if you can keep shrinking while you inhale. So the center is way down low beneath the navel. You can get a lot of air up into the upper chest without letting go of the shrinking star. Inhale. Exhale, shrink the star. Inhale, keep it shrunk as you breathe in. One last repetition. And then let's bring the knees into the chest and place the head down. Slowly turn your head from side to side. Relax the neck. And then bring the feet back into your neutral tabletop. Relax the arms down to the sides with the palms up. Soften the shoulders. Shrink the star. Imprint the back ribs. Lower your left foot down. Keep your neutral spine. Keep imprinting. Shrinking the star. Lower the right foot down. And now when you relax the core, hopefully there's no movement in the lower back or pelvis. Take a moment in your constructive rest pose. So feel where your pelvis is located in constructive rest, where you feel the weight against the base of the spine and the back of the pelvis. Let's shrink the star and maintain that neutral as we lift the right foot up. And then keep shrinking the star and maintaining the neutral and straighten your left leg out along the floor, still maintaining your neutral spine. Okay, now we're going to bring the hands to the right leg and pull the knee to the chest and notice what happens. If we let go of the core work, pelvis will tilt. We can flatten the lower back and feel more life down the front of the left leg at the same time. So take a moment in that stretch. And now move the knee away again to refine that neutral position. Shrink the star. Imprint the back ribs and straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Point your toes and pull your kneecap towards the hip. And then bring your hands down so you're touching your low ribs and your pelvis. Shrink the star down and circle the right leg. You can put a lot of attention on the star shrinking. You can notice your back left ribs and back the left shoulder staying rooted down into the floor. And then we're going to shrink the star and reverse the circles. Keep the pelvis still. Keep the rib cage steady. And then let's bend the knee. And we're going to go into a spinal twist. With your left hand, pull the right knee over towards the floor on the left. Relax the right shoulder, and now you can let go of the core work and breathe into the stretch. back. Bring the right knee into the chest. Feel that flattening of the lower back, the lengthening of the front of the left thigh, and pause for a moment with that stretch. And now we're going to bring the left knee into the chest. So we have both knees hugged into the chest, lower back flattening, the pelvis is tilted. We're supporting the stretch with the hands on the knees. And then we're going to move into a neutral spine again. Lower the right, shrink your star. Lower the right foot down. Maintain your neutral spine. Keep shrinking the star and straighten the right leg out. Do your backward imprinting to support that neutral spine. Notice where you are in the back of the pelvis at the base of the spine. You're in your neutral position. And then relax the core work, and with both hands pull your left knee in towards your breastbone. Feel the pelvis tilt, the front of the right leg stretch, the left knee come towards the breastbone, lower back is being stretched. Then move the knee out away from the chest. Find your neutral spine. Shrink the star. Backwards imprint and straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Point the toes. Engage the legs so you're pulling your kneecap towards your hip socket. Bring your hands down so you can feel the pelvis and the ribs. Star is shrinking below the navel. Backwards are imprinted, and we're going to circle the left leg. Being extra conscious that the right back ribs and the right back of the pelvis stay down and even on the mat. Keep shrinking the star to its lowest center, and then reverse the circle. And then bend your knee. I'm going to place both hands on the left knee. I'm going to place the right hand on the left knee and move into a spinal twist. Left arm comfortably out to the side. You can relax the core work and breathe slowly into the twist. And then we'll roll to the back. Draw the left knee towards the breastbone. And slide the right leg in, so both knees are in towards the chest, the lower back is flattened. I'm going to rock gently from side to side across the back of the sacrum. And then come to the center. And we'll move the knees away from the chest to find the neutral tabletop position. Lift your feet as high as your knees. We're going to work with the star and the imprint as we go through the abdominal series. So bring your attention to the space below the navel. Take an inhale, picture the asterisk. With the exhale, shrink it down towards that low center. All of the points. Don't neglect any of the 8 points. Let your back ribs imprint. And we'll lift the head to go into the single leg stretch, bringing both hands to one leg and straightening the other leg out. Lift the elbows up nice and wide, keep your star shrinking, and switch the legs. Take it slow. I'm going to go slow and really concentrate on the form of this. Neutral lower back, neutral pelvis, chin into the chest, elbows out nice and wide, shoulders relaxed. The leg extends, and then when it bends, hide your foot behind your thigh. Bring your attention back to the star. Shrink it down to that low center. And then we're going to bend both knees and pull them into the chest. Lower the head. Relax the neck. You can turn your head from side to side if you like. Lower back is flat. We're taking a little break. And then we'll return to the neutral tabletop, moving the knees out away from the chest and lifting the feet as high as the knees. Take an inhale, picture the asterisk. Exhale, shrink it down towards that low center. Make sure your ribs imprint, really important for the double leg stretch. And pull the front ribs together firmly as you lift your head, chin into the chest. Notice your back ribs, keep your star shrinking. Exhale, reach the arms and legs away from the center. And then inhale, bend the knees. Circle the arms around to meet without flattening the lower back. Keep the star shrinking and the back ribs imprinting. Exhale away from the center and inhale, come back in. See if you can keep your star shrinking while you inhale. Exhale, reach away from the center and return on the inhale. Exhale, lengthen out. Inhale, come back in. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis, chin into the chest. Keep your eyes on your thighs. And shrink the star, reach out away from the center, come back in with the inhale and keep shrinking one more time. Then we have one hand on each knee, rest the head down, pull the knees in, allow the lower back to flatten at the same time, be sure that the back of the neck is lengthening, and take a break. The neck is tired, you can gently press the back of the head into the floor and release. Do that a couple times. And then let's return to our neutral tabletop. Move the knees away from the chest to neutral spine. Lift the feet as high as the knees. Take an inhale, picture your star. Shrink it as you exhale. Imprint the back ribs and lift your head. We're going with single straight leg, one leg going straight up and the other leg straight down. We're going to support the up leg and move slowly. Nice long stretch through both the legs, keeping the star shrinking the whole time. Open the elbows out wide. Drop the shoulders down low. Shrink the star. Neutral spine. Keep your legs as straight as you can. Get a nice long hamstring stretch in the up leg. Good. Hip flexor stretch in the down leg. And then let's bring both knees into the chest. Rest the head. Again, you can gently stretch the lower back and turn the head from side to side, or gently press the back of the head into the mat to release the neck. And now we prepare for the double straight leg. Let's come back into our neutral tabletop. For this one, we're going to bring the hands behind the head and open the elbows out wide. So I'd like you to observe neutral spine, but the ribs, back ribs are pulling away from the mat a little bit. And shrink your star and then imprint the back ribs. Really key. Straighten both legs up, lift your head. Keep those back ribs imprinted. Lower the legs down slightly. Go in slow motion, not too far. Try not to use momentum, use strength. Shrink the star, keep the back ribs imprinted. Lower the legs only as far as you can while maintaining your neutral lower back. Shrink the star. Put that center down low beneath the navel, back ribs imprinted, and lift back up without momentum. Just to neutral. As you go down, make sure your back ribs stay imprinted. You don't go into an arch in the spine as you come up. Do not flatten the back. Stay neutral. Shrink the star. Imprint. Lower the legs. Stay neutral. Come up and stay neutral. Let's do one more. Shrinking the star. Keep that center down low. Back ribs imprinted. And lift back up. And bend your knees. Lower your head. Relax for a moment. Now when we go into the crisscross, the next exercise, everything's moving except the pelvis. So we're going to be really aware of keeping the pelvis steady, not rocking from side to side as we twist the upper body and as we move, bicycle the legs. The pelvis is your steady anchor. So let's find the neutral spine again and lift the feet as high as the knees. Once again, we're going to bring the hands behind the head. Feel how that automatically pulls your ribs away from the mat a little bit. So we'll begin by shrinking the star and imprinting the ribs, then lifting the head. Pelvis is in its neutral position as we begin to slowly bicycle and reach the armpit across to the opposite knee. Go in slow motion, please. Keep the pelvis steady. Rotate the torso fully. Keep your elbows nice and wide. You're turning the breastbone and aiming the armpit over and across towards the bending knee on the opposite side. Pelvis is steady. Your star is still shrinking. Your back ribs still imprinted. And then let's bring the knees into the chest and lower the head. Again, relax the neck. Feel the even, gentle stretch at the back of the neck and in the lower back. And then we'll move the knees away from the chest and lift the feet, finding that neutral tabletop position. Relax the arms down. Inhale, picture the star. Exhale, shrink it to its low center, imprint. Lower the right foot down and the left foot down. And there you are in your neutral. Relax. We're going to take a small ball or a rolled up towel between the knees for the next exercise. Or you could fold a small cushion in half. Upper body relaxed. Neutral spine. Picture the star. Notice where the center is, below the navel. Take an inhale. And exhale. Shrink towards that low center. And then squeeze the knees into the ball. Feel the inner thighs working. And then slowly release that squeeze, keeping the star shrinking as you relax the squeeze of the ball. And then relax. Without dropping the ball, soften the squeeze. Take an inhale, prepare. Exhale, shrink the star and press into the ball. Engaging the inner thighs. Keep your star shrinking. Breathe as you need to and keep shrinking the star. And then when we come out of that ball squeeze, we're going to keep the star engaged and slowly release. And once the pressure is off of the ball, then you can relax the star again. One more time. Inhale. Picture the star. Exhale. Shrink it down and squeeze into the ball. Keep shrinking. And then maintain the shrinking of the star as your knees slowly come apart. And relax. We're going to bring the feet a little closer into each other and prepare for a pelvic lift. If you have something supporting behind the head, take it out for this next exercise. We're going to use the star to maintain a neutral spine in the pelvic lift. That means our hinge is at the hip joint. Take an inhale, picture the star, notice the neutral spine. Exhale, shrink the star, squeeze on the ball, and then press your hips up towards the ceiling without rolling through the spine. And then keep a neutral spine, keep squeezing and shrinking, and then to lower down, you drop down your tail between your legs, just looking at that hip crease. If you are confused about where to move, put your hands like a karate chop in your hip crease, that's your hinge. Exhale, shrink the star. We're going to stabilize the position of the spine, squeeze into the ball, and hinge at the hips to raise the pelvis up off of the mat. Keep squeezing in, keep shrinking, and hinge at the hip crease to come back down. You're still pressing into the ball and shrinking the star. And then relax. Neutral spine. So you can tell if you maintained your neutral or not. If there's an adjustment when you relax, then you did not keep your neutral. Shrink the star, squeeze on the ball, maintain your neutral, press into the feet, and lift by stretching your hips up towards the ceiling. Feel that length against the front of the front thighs and squeeze into the ball. To come down, we're going to hinge at the hips again, maintain neutral. Good, now continue to maintain your neutral, shrink your star, lift your head and take your ball. And put it off to the side, then relax in neutral. And let's turn to the stomach. Hand under the forehead. Legs comfortable so they can be a little separated wherever they feel good. If it's possible to point your toes straight out behind you without cramping your foot, then do that. If your feet are crampy today, you can put a little towel roll under your ankles. Now picture the star here. We've changed orientations, but the star still works. Exhale and shrink your star. And then raise your chest and your head, keeping the star shrinking in towards the center. And lower down. And relax. Again, shrink the star. And lift the chest and the head. Keep your forearms down and keep shrinking the star. And release back down. And let everything relax. One more time, shrink the star. And raise the chest and the head. Keep shrinking the star. And lower down. Now we're going to bring the hands to the sides, legs close together, forehead down on the mat. Shrink the star, and then lift everything up, including the legs this time. Chest, arms, legs, head, lift. Star stays shrinking, and lower down. And do that twice more. Relax in between. Shrink the star, and lift everything up. Keep shrinking the star. Think of lifting the thigh and the chest. The thighs and the chest. And lower down. Relax. One more time, shrink the star and lift. Now stay lifted and shrink your star again. Take your arms forward. If that's too much, just put your hands under your forehead. And we're going to do swimming. Flutter kicking the arms and the legs, keeping the star shrinking. And then bring your hands under your forehead, lower the legs, and relax. Now lift back up into a Sphinx position. You're going to come onto your forearms with the elbows directly under the shoulders. Shrink your star. Feel how that pulls your pubic bone to your navel and your ribs down the diagonal. Keeping the pelvis steady, we'll do the single leg kick, one knee at a time bend, and you kick, kick, and then the other side kick, kick. We want to keep the pelvis level as the legs do this motion. Pressing down through the forearms, drawing your shoulders down the back, keeping the star shrinking, breastbone moving forward. Little kick with the legs, kick, 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 kick. One more time on each leg. And then we'll move to a child's pose to stretch the back out. Bring your hips back to your heels. Any child's pose you like. You can make a tower of your fist if you like. Make sure the back of the neck is comfortable. Arms can be straight out in front of you or down by your feet. And then we'll move on to the left side for the side kicks. And stretch out long. As you relax, notice the space beneath the navel. It's a little off center when you're relaxed in this position. So as we exhale and shrink the star, not only do we support, but we're pulling to the center, floor to ceiling wise. And then let's lift both legs up, keeping the star shrinking, and raise the top leg and lower it. And then lower the bottom leg, keep the star shrinking and lift it. Lift the top, bring it down, keep shrinking the star and lower the bottom and lift it up. Top up and down. Slow movement, keep shrinking the star 2 more times. Top up and down, bottom down. Shrink the star and lift 1 more time. And shrink your star. Lower the bottom leg. We're going to take the fingertips onto the mat in front of you and bring the front leg forward. Then shrink the star really firmly as you move the leg back towards the space behind you. Do not let your rib cage collapse forward. And again, move the leg in front of you, keeping the star shrinking. Pull the leg behind. You want to keep the pelvis still in space and the ribs in a constant relationship to the pelvis with the help of that shrinking star. 2 more times forward and back. Then return this leg to the center. Shrink the star and lift that bottom leg up. Keep shrinking the star and raise the top leg a little higher, and then circle it around. Star should be shrinking down and keeping the relationship of pelvis and ribs steady. Bottom leg can get you back down on the mat if this is a bit too challenging, or fingertips on the mat in front of you, and then reverse the circles. Keep shrinking the star. And squeeze the legs together. Then flex your feet back and squeeze your toes. Point the feet, fan the toes, and flex the feet back. Squeeze, point, fan, flex, squeeze, point, fan, flex. Toes stay open and reach them away. Then squeeze the toes and pull back. Open, reach, squeeze, and pull back. And 1 more time. Then lower both legs down. Pause for a moment, let everything relax. And picture your star again. Exhale, shrink it. Keeping your pelvis steady. Don't let your right hip fall behind you. Roll the right leg out in the socket. Point your toes and lift the leg up. And then flex your foot and come down. Keep your star shrinking. Point and lift. And flex and come down. Point up. Flex down 2 more times. Star is shrinking. There's the center of the body. Work around that center point. And then relax the leg. And then we're going to bend the knees, keeping a nice straight angle down the whole front thigh. Feel that center again and shrink the star. And maintain the center. We're going to rotate the right leg 10 times out in the socket, keeping the star shrinking towards the center. When you're done, bend the knees so that the knees are at the front of the mat, and then relax completely, soften. Check that your neck and shoulders are comfortable. And then again, inhale, prepare, picture the star, shrink it. Keep your pelvis steady, your right hip rocked forward as you roll the right leg out in the socket. 10 external rotations. Abdominal star shrinking towards that low center throughout. Please continue to breathe even while you stabilize. And then relax. And then we're going to bend to a 90-degree angle. Let go for a moment here. And then once again, shrink the star. Make sure your right hip is rocked a little forward and roll the leg out in the socket 10 more times. Abdominal star shrinking throughout. Now we're going to displace the bottom knee a little forward and come up into a mermaid sit. Feel your spine tall. Feel the center of the body like a plumb line is dropping from the crown of the head down through the perineum. The sit bones, of course, are not both on the mat in this position, but still let's identify the center. I'm going to place the right hand on the right foot and reach the left arm up. And then shrink your star and side bend to the left. To the right. Stretching your left side. Keep mindful of that space between the pubic bone and the belly button. Center of the body that you're shrinking around. Then lengthen up. And we'll bring the left hand down to the floor. Slide it away until the forearm is down. Shrink the star and reach the right arm up and over. Get a nice long stretch in the right side of the body, but stay anchored in the center. And breathe here. Shrinking the star, picture where the center is, and shrink to that point. And again, you can maintain the shrinking of the star even when you inhale. And then we'll come up. And rotate the body. Float the arms out in front. Sit tall, shrink the star, and then tilt the pelvis to begin rolling down. Keep shrinking the star. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Stretch the arms and the legs out long and take a long stretch. And then we're going to lie onto the right side. Bring your attention down to the center as you relax. Notice that the center is off center. Take an inhale and picture the star. Exhale, shrink the star. And then lift your legs up and raise the top leg and lower it down. And lower the bottom leg and lift it up. Keep shrinking the star. Top up and down. And bottom down and up. Shrink the star. Lift. And lower, lower, and lift. Twice more. Keep shrinking the star. Mind's eyes on the center of the body, shrinking towards that point. And we're going to bring the bottom leg down, the fingertips to the mat in front. Keep shrinking the star. Reach the top leg forward and move the leg behind you. Keeping your pelvis still in space, your rib cage still in space. Come forward, keep shrinking the star, and reach back. Want to feel stretch in the front of the left thigh, but not compression in the lower back. And bring the leg forward, and shrink the star, come back. Good. Even when you're inhaling, keep shrinking the star, forward, back. One more time. And then to the center, shrink the star again. Raise the bottom leg up, top leg a little higher, Encircle the left leg. If it's too hard, you can use your fingertips on the mat in front of you or lower the bottom leg. Shrink the star again and reverse the circles. And then draw both legs together. Shrink the star. Be sure that the center of the body is centered up away from the floor, and flex your feet back. Squeeze the toes, point the feet, fan the toes, and flex back. Squeeze, point, fan, and flex. Again like that. Squeeze, point, fan, and flex. Now keep the toes open and reach out. Squeeze and pull back. Open the toes, reach and squeeze, pull back. One more time. And then lower the legs. Relax a moment. Feel how that takes you off of the center. And then shrink the star to recenter. Keep your pelvis still and externally rotate that top leg. Point the toes and lift and flex and come down. Be sure you're not falling behind your left hip. Point up and flex down. Keep shrinking the star. Pelvis is steady. Point up. Flex down one more time. And then relax. And we're going to keep the front of the thighs straight as we bend the knees. So 0-degree hip flexion, full extension of the front thighs. Shrink the star and roll the thigh out in the socket. Doing 10 repetitions here, keeping the pelvis still, star shrinking. When you're done, come to 45-degree hip flexion, the knees at the front of the mat, and relax. And then recenter yourself by shrinking the star. Keep the left hip forward and roll the leg out in the socket. Again, 10 times. Star stays shrinking while you're inhaling and while you're exhaling. The exhale is a chance to renew it every time. And really be sure that the pelvis stays steady, and then that you're moving the muscles in the butt. You're using the muscles in the butt to move the leg in this outward rotation. Then relax. And finally we'll come to 90-degree hip flexion, knees and feet at the front of the mat. Use the star to recenter yourself. Keep that left hip forward and roll out in the socket again. And we'll need to displace the right knee a little forward and come up into a mermaid sit here. Again, feel the center line of the body, plumb line from the crown of the head down to the perineum. We'll place the left hand on the left foot. Take an inhale, extend the right arm up. Shrink the star and then bend towards the left. Feeling the right side of the body stretch. Keep shrinking the star so you're supported in the center of the body as you stretch. And then lift up. I'm going to bring the right hand down to the mat, slide it away till you have your forearm down. Shrink the star again and then reach the left arm up and over, lengthening the left side. Keep shrinking the star and then stretch away from that strong integrated center. And then sit tall. Again, we're going to rotate the body, and this time we're going to straighten the legs out. I like to use your small ball or your pillow in your hands. So you can hold the ball directly in front of the sternum. Let your shoulders be relaxed. Sitting tall on the sit bones. I'm going to shrink the star. And then tuck the tail between the legs as you roll slowly down. We're going to go down to the back of the pelvis and hover there. Keep shrinking the star, relaxing the shoulders as you do that. Scooping the belly button in towards the spine. Then keeping the feet on the floor, bring yourself back up. Stay easy in the shoulders and sit tall. And then we're going to bend forward at the hips, relax the neck and shoulders. And sit tall again with the ball in front of the breastbone, shoulders easy. Shrink your star. Tilt the pelvis. And come down to hover at the back of the sacrum. Now, if your feet can stay down on the floor, you can continue farther down. If your feet come up, just stay at the back of the sacrum. If you can keep the feet down, you're going to come to the back ribs and imprint them. Scoop the belly. And then see if you can bring yourself up again. Sit tall, lengthen, and then bend forward. And then we'll sit tall again. Shrink the star. Draw the tail between the legs. Roll down. Feel the sacrum. If you can't keep your feet down, then stay here. Roll down through the lower back to the back ribs. Still continue to keep the feet down. You may still be up on your sacrum hovering. Please stay there if you are. If you're all the way down, you can stretch long for a moment. Then we'll go all the way up, shrinking the star, tucking the pelvis, flatten the crown of the head towards the toes, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Then let's sit tall. Bend the knees and across the ankles. Shrink the star again. And come up into a standing position. Feet slightly separated. Find that center of the body in your mind's eye. Take an inhale. Exhale and shrink the star down. And then relax. And again, exhale and shrink the star. Feel the crown of the head reach up. And relax the shrinking of the star. One more time, shrink the star into the center. Feel that work towards the center. Relax as much as you can in the periphery. Tall through the crown of the head, easy in the shoulders. Then soften the work in the core. Okay, that will do it. So, take-home message is, the star can be used in any position. When you engage it while you're standing or sitting, outside of your exercise time, you're still strengthening. So keep thinking of that center and drawing yourself in towards the center. And think of it if you're doing some kind of work, obviously physical work in the garden or in the yard, or lifting or carrying, housework. Shrink the star down and keep yourself contained towards the center before you start reaching and lifting and hauling things around. Okay, so thank you. That's the abdominal star. I see a couple people here who I don't know, and you're quite welcome. I just want to say that if you're able to pay for the classes, that is much appreciated. This is the way I make my living. There's information in the About section where you can send me a Venmo or a check. Obviously, the classes are freely offered, and I'm happy to have everyone using them, but if you can support, that's also much appreciated. All right, thank you so much, and have a good week. Next week, we may be meeting at Conklin Hall, although there's a question mark there, so stay tuned. All right, take care. Thanks.